And okay, students, so here are the samples to which we've added water, and they just came out of the hot water bath a few minutes ago. We're going to go ahead and place them in the spot plate here. And so I'm going to do just like I did to the previous set. Since these ones never had any acid added to them, we don't need to do any neutralization. I'm just going to go ahead and place a couple drops of the appropriate sample into the well. So this is glucose. Let me pour a little bit of glucose here. Oops, that's a lot of glucose. All right, let me use my pipette here to kind of back some of that up. Got a little heavy-handed there. Okay, take some back glucose away. All right, that's my waste container back there. All right. All right, so there's my glucose sample. Here's a little bit of starch. So again, I'll be careful not to pour too much in. Come on, buddy. Okay, there's a little starch. Here's a little sucrose. Okay, here we have some fructose. Just a small amount. And lastly, some lactose. All right, so just like I did to the previous samples here, I'm going to add a little bit of iodine solution. So I'm going to do 2 to 3 drops in each one. And remember, these samples here labeled in yellow had water added to them during the heating part. So okay, now I'm going to ask Lee to bring the camera in nice and close and have you guys take a look at all of the samples. And the question I'm asking you is water a strong acid? All right, hopefully these results help you determine that answer. Okay, so the last part of the hydrolysis test is for us to test our samples with some Benedict's reagent. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 milliliter of Benedict's reagent to our leftovers here from our hydrolysis. And remember, these samples here in the red test tube rack are the ones that had received HCl. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 milliliter of Benedict's reagent to each one. And then we're going to go ahead and put these back in the water bath. See if we get any color changes. Okay, so I will repeat that process for the other set, but let me get these going into the water bath. Lie them down gently, and we're going to let them come to a boil again. Okay. All right, and let me repeat that process here for my other samples. So the samples here in the green test tube rack with the yellow labels, these did not have HCl added to them, so they had no acid added. Okay, so we have 1 milliliter of Benedict's reagent in each of these samples as well. So I'm going to go ahead and place them in the hot water bath as well. And we'll hopefully see some results in a few minutes. There we go. Okay, and then carefully let these all down in here. Okay. Now, since these have been in the water bath for a little bit, we actually start to see some results over here. So let me start taking out whatever has a color change occurring. And we have a nice reddish color for, that is fructose. Fructose's label fell off. Oh no. And it's bringing another friend with it. Darn it. Okay, these are the perils of water baths. Okay, but fructose is positive. So we are seeing a reduction happening for fructose. Okay, let me find out whose label is missing. And that would be this guy. This is starch. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so that is starch. I'm going to go ahead and put that guy back in the water. I don't see any changing happening there yet. Okay. Oh, take a look at sucrose. Sucrose is now changing to a very nice orange color here. Huh, interesting. What has occurred? All right. Let's see. We have another one that's a nice dark color over here. This is glucose. Glucose is definitely showing the reduction. All right. And looks like here we have I think for these two we better wait just a little bit. All right. We'll give those a few more seconds in the bath there. All right, on the other side, we are also seeing some color changes. So again, remember the green test tube rack had no HCl added to it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the sample that is showing the color change. And that is fructose. Okay, so fructose is still doing the reduction, even though no acid was added. Wonderful. Let's see if we find any others in here. Here we have glucose. Glucose is also showing us the products of the reduction. Here we have lactose. Lactose is showing us some product of reduction here. Okay. Let's take a look over here, see if we got anything else. Uh-oh, somebody's label is falling off again. Probably just need to let those rest in there. Oh, this is lactose. Lactose is showing some color change in this case. You can definitely see the nice cloud of solid in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the heat. If it'll help any. Okay. Even the starch here is a little darker tint than it normally is. A little bit of time more to go. And on the other side, let's check out if anything's changing. So it looks like sucrose is not changing over here. And it looks like we are not seeing any change over here on starch either. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out because it's already been about a minute or so for all of them. Okay, there we are. Now let's take a look over here at this starch, the one that had HCl added. So this is a different color. I want to actually compare these two together and have you guys take a look. So the one with the orange label, if you notice, has some tinting going on versus the one on the right with that had no acid added to it. Okay, so I'm placing it over here against a white background so that you can see that you are getting some reddish color going on in the starch with the orange label, but the blue one on the right hand side here pretty much stayed identical. It stayed the same. All right, so these are the results of the hydrolysis test for our carbohydrates.